If I woke up tomorrow 30 pounds overweight and I wanted to lose it by the end of the year, this is exactly what I would do. And this isn't just some theory, this is the exact method I use myself to lose 70 pounds of fat, and the same one that I give to my clients to guarantee them results. In fact, if you follow this plan, by New Year's Eve, not only will you be 30 pounds lighter, but you'll be fitter, stronger, and more confident than you've ever been before. So if you're ready to have your friends and your family stunned at your transformation and asking you how you did it over Christmas dinner, this is for you. The first part of this, if you're serious about losing 30 pounds by the end of the year, is eliminating alcohol. Firstly, it's packed with calories. The average beer has 250 calories, and the average glass of wine has 200 calories. Secondly, it causes you to make worse food decisions. How many times have you ended up in a McDonald's or a kebab shop after a night out? Worse than that though, it completely destroys your sleep quality. Even if you spend 8 or 9 hours in bed, alcohol intake means your body spends way less time in deep restorative sleep, which means you wake up tired and with no willpower. It also sends your hormones all over the place. Your testosterone goes down and your ghrelin goes up, meaning you wake up feeling like shit and craving high calorie junk all day long. Trust me, trying to lose this amount of fat while still drinking alcohol is an absolute no-go. You need to decide what it is you want. Of course, I'm not saying you need to quit it forever, but if you actually want to lose 30 pounds of fat by the end of the year, it needs to go for now. When I quit alcohol myself, it was like turning a video game from hard mode to easy mode. The fat just started melting off of me. The next part of this is working out how many calories you're going to eat, because you can't just eat healthy and expect this to work. When I think back to times in my life where I just could not lose weight, whatever I was doing, I wasn't tracking my food, I was guessing and I was estimating, and that shit just doesn't work. Fat loss is a science, so you have to be accurate. As of the recording of this video, you have 16 weeks left to the end of the year. 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories. You're going to want to be in a 1,000 calorie daily deficit, which is going to allow you to burn 32 pounds of fat by the end of the year. That's going to give you the wiggle room you need, just in case you make a few slip-ups. To work out how many calories you are going to consume, you're going to times your body weight in pounds by 10. That's your daily calorie intake. It's very aggressive, but if you want to be able to do this by the end of the year, you have to go with an aggressive approach. The absolute key here is precision. You have to use a calorie tracking app like MyFitnessPal and weigh out your food and make sure you're eating your desired calorie intake every single day, and it literally guarantees fat loss. The third step, once you have your calories set, is putting protein first. And this is absolutely essential, especially when you're in such an aggressive deficit. To work out how much protein you're going to eat every single day, simply times your desired body weight by 1. So if you desire to be 180 pounds, you're going to eat 180 grams of protein per day. Protein is so important because when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is going to look around your body to make up that energy deficit. And if you're not eating enough protein, it's going to break down muscle tissue, and that's how you end up skinny fat. As long as you're hitting your daily protein intake, your body is going to burn stored fat instead of muscle tissue, and that's exactly what you want here. You want to burn 30 pounds of fat, not 30 pounds of weight. Second to that, protein is going to keep you feeling full because your body takes longer to digest it. It also has the highest thermic effect of the 3 macronutrients, meaning your body burns more calories digesting it compared to fats or carbs. Protein was a massive catalyst in my own transformation. I used to get ridiculously hungry all the time, and I would never feel full even though I just ate. As soon as I upped my protein, I could start going 3 to 4 hours without eating, and that helped me cut my calories massively. A lot of guys ask me, how do I get all that protein in though? And it's really simple. You have to anchor each of your meals around one of these 5 sources of protein: chicken, beef, fish, eggs, or Greek yogurt. As long as the base of each of your meals is built around one of those, you are guaranteeing yourself that you're going to be getting the amount of protein you need every day. For the fourth part of this, I want to briefly touch on fats and carbs, and what I want you to do for now is completely ignore them. At the end of the day, fat loss comes down to 2 things: being in a calorie deficit and eating enough protein. So that's all I want you to focus on for now. There is no need to overcomplicate your nutrition more than that at this stage. Your body doesn't care about the ratio in which you consume carbs or fats. It cares about energy balance. You could eat more carbs than fats today, and then more fats and carbs tomorrow, and as long as you're in a calorie deficit and eating enough protein, you're going to lose fat. Keeping your nutrition as simple as possible removes that factor of overwhelm completely, which is what makes so many people quit. Trying to juggle exact macronutrient and micronutrient ratios is not realistic because it becomes too stressful to deal with especially when you're in such a large calorie deficit. When I first started trying to lose fat, I cannot count the amount of times I quit my diet because I was trying to be perfect and eat some special magic diet over and over again. As soon as I switched to focusing on what actually matters, calories and protein, that's when I lost fat, and that's when it happened for me. And it will happen for you if you do the same thing, so keep it fucking simple. Step 5 is implementing a restrictive eating window, also known as intermittent fasting. Think about this for a second. When is it that you usually find yourself binging and overeating? Because I'm willing to bet it isn't at breakfast. For most guys, it happens to be at night when you're tired after work and your willpower is at its lowest. You finish dinner, lay on the sofa and stick on Netflix, and without even thinking about it, almost on autopilot, you plow for a big bag of crisps, some biscuits, and a bowl of ice cream or two, and before you know it, you've consumed over 1,000 calories of snacks in half an hour. One of the reasons I used to be so fat was because of the amount of food I used to eat 3 hours before I went to bed. As soon as I implemented a restrictive eating window of 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., it completely took that away. I literally had a mental block in place to where I couldn't consume calories in the last 3 hours I was awake anymore. And it wasn't even like I changed how I was eating in the day that much. And that cut over 1,000 calories a day from my bottom line. So here's how you're going to implement this. Look at the time you go to bed. For example, let's say it's 10 p.m. Then say your eating window to shut 3 hours before that time. So in this case, it would be 7 p.m. And then you can either go with an 8-hour window or a 10-hour window. So it would start at either 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. based on your personal preference. The beauty of this is that it automates your body's hunger signals because your body gets used to the times that you eat, and it also eliminates mindless snacking in the evening, which makes an absolutely massive difference. Now on to step number 6, which is absolutely essential if you want to look good after you've lost 30 pounds of fat, and it's weight training 4 times a week. Way too many guys think all that matters is cardio and calories, but I can promise you, if that's all you focus on, you're going to end up with a weak, flabby, skinny fat physique that you are just as unhappy with. Weight training is what is going to send the signal to your body that tells it, hey, this muscle is important, do not burn it, and pair that with enough protein and your body will burn through fat whilst maintaining or even building muscle, which creates the lean, athletic body that every man wants. So when it comes to what training split to do, you have 2 options here. You can either go with a 3-day split, which is push-pull legs, or you can go with a 4-day split, which is upper lower, upper lower. Each workout should focus on a mix of compound and isolation movements so you build both strength and size. By the way, if you have absolutely no idea what workout to do, I've actually put together a free fat loss Kickstarter blueprint, which amongst many other things contains a 4-day workout split, which I still do myself to this day. You can get that again for free using the second link in the description of this video. The most important part of training though is progressive overload. Do not be one of those pussies that goes to the gym and half-asses it and just goes through the motions every single week. Every single time you go, strive for more and give your body a reason to adapt. I didn't gain 8 pounds of muscle whilst I lost 70 pounds of fat by just going through the motions. Every time I step through those fucking doors, I push myself, and that's what you have to do if you want a similar result. Step 7 is walking, and more specifically, 10,000 steps every single day. Here's the math behind this. 1,000 steps burns roughly 35 to 50 calories depending on the individual. So if you're doing 10,000 steps a day, that's 350 to 500 calories burned without even stepping foot on a cardio machine. Do that for a week and you're burning over 3,500 calories, which is again equal to 1 pound of fat just by walking. The best part of it is that you can get those steps in regularly just by blending it into your existing day. Walk to work in the supermarket, start taking the stairs instead of lifts or escalators, and do some walking in your free time. And those small adjustments to your existing life is going to add up really quickly. One of my clients, Jay, was doing around 3k steps on average when he first came to me. Just by getting off a stop early to and from work and also doing a 20-minute walk during his lunch break, he got that average up to 11k per day, which made an absolutely massive difference. And I mean, the results speak for themselves. Walking may not sound like one of those glamorous fat loss hacks, but it's both realistic and sustainable, and that's exactly what you need to do if you want to lose 30 pounds by the end of the year. On to part 8, and this is something that's generally overlooked by most guys, but it's absolutely vital, and it's prioritizing sleep. When you don't sleep enough, testosterone drops, meaning less energy, slow recovery, and reduced fat burning capacity, Cortisol, which is your stress hormone, also rises, which directly signals to your body to store more fat around your belly. Adding to that, ghrelin, your hunger hormone, spikes, making you crave sugary junk the next day. It's like your body is actively working against you when you don't sleep enough. Believe me, no matter how much you think you can't get 8 hours of sleep, you can. I used to think it was impossible to get 8 hours, but with just a few small tweaks, I was able to do it. So this is what I do and what you need to do. Firstly, set a consistent bedtime and a consistent wake time. Your body loves a routine and it makes it so much easier for you to fall asleep and get those 8 hours. Secondly, cut caffeine 8 hours before you go to sleep. I know what you're thinking right now, but I don't sleep that much, I need caffeine for energy. Why do you think you don't sleep so much? It's a vicious cycle. More caffeine, worse sleep. More caffeine, worse sleep. Yes, it's going to fucking suck for the first few weeks when you cut it out, but I promise you your life is going to be so much better when you don't need a coffee or an energy drink every 3 hours. And thirdly, put your phone and any screens away an hour before bed. Do you really need to be texting at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. at night? No. Read a book, go for a walk, write a fucking novel, just stay off screens. The blue light they emit blocks melatonin production, which is going to make it way harder and take way longer for you to get to sleep. If you fix your sleep, I can guarantee you fat loss will become way easier, so do not neglect this part. Step 9 is tracking your progress. If you don't do this, when fat loss doesn't come as quickly as you want it to, you will say, oh, this stuff just doesn't work for me, and you'll throw in the towel. Listen, fat loss is never linear. Your weight will fluctuate due to water intake, sodium intake, speed of digestion, and 1,000 other factors. Some days you'll wake up 2 pounds down, and other days you'll wake up the same weight or even up in weight. That's why you need to start looking at averages and not daily fluctuations. Yes, weigh yourself every day, but take an average at the end of the week, and that's how you know whether this stuff is actually working or not. I used to be one of those typical guys that used to brag about running on 5 to 6 hours sleep, like that somehow proves you're more of a man. But take a look at how I looked whilst I was claiming that. Also, take progress pictures in the same spot with the same lighting every single week. How you visually look and how you feel is way more important than some fucking arbitrary number that you see on a scale. So start taking those pictures and you'll be able to see that you're making progress every single week. Overall though, data is so important because it can set you straight. When you're having one of those bad days and you're looking in the mirror and you're like, this stuff isn't working, you can look at the cold, hard data. And as long as it's trending in the right direction, it's going to prove you beyond any kind of doubt that is working. The 10th and most important part of all of this is changing your mindset and your identity so that you can actually stick this out and lose that 30 pounds by the end of the year. You know, when I was 248 pounds, I tried every diet plan and every workout program under the sun, thinking that was what was going to solve my problem, but none of it ever worked. And it was because I wasn't addressing the root cause of the problem, which that was I identified as a fat person. Until I changed that identity, nothing happened for me. The second I did, the fat started coming off easier than ever before, and more importantly, it stayed off. So you need to make that shift too. And that starts with the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying to yourself, after this video, I'm going to try and lose 30 pounds of fat by the end of the year, say to yourself, I am going to lose 30 pounds of fat by the end of the year by following the plan that was laid out in that video. One tool that is going to help you massively with this is visualization. Just for 10 minutes a day, sit down, close your eyes, and visualize the person you want to become. See yourself in the gym, see yourself getting those steps in, hitting your protein target, and see yourself in the body you want. And actually feel the emotions that come with that, the confidence, the energy, the happiness. Look, calories, protein, training, cardio, all of that matters, yes, but you cannot keep thinking like a fat person. Shift your identity first, and then all of that other stuff will fall into place. And if you want my help in achieving that so that you can guarantee that it actually happens for you, click the first link in the description and book a call with me. Other than that, I hope this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one.